I'm Corbett Wall with DVAuction, here with your feeder flash for Tuesday, August the 20th, brought to you in part by VITALIX. Not all tubs are created equal. Stretch your profits with every lick. They've got a tub giveaway that we've been talking about. You can register for free VITALIX tubs. If you're watching on NationalBeefWire, just click on the VITALIX ad here next to this video. If you're watching on YouTube, click the link in the descriptions. Get the blue tub, go to vitalix.com. Also, Beaver County Stockyards in Beaver, Oklahoma. Going to have 2,400 head here today for the regular cattle auction. Going to be starting at 7 o'clock in the morning. Going to be hot again. They've got about 400 calves, most of them light, weighing 400 to 600 pounds. Only about a fourth of them will be weaned. 1,600 yearlings, be 1,100 to 1,200 yearling steers, most of them weighing in the 8s and the 9s, and most of them being marketed in load lots. Be 400 to 500 heifers, just one straight load of heifers. They're really fancy black and black baldy heifers weighing in the 9s. The others will just be big packages of heifers. They've got just a light way up cow sale, but during the cow sale they are going to be selling 15 head of replacement breeding bulls from Cook Angus from Canadian Texas. They're all 18 years old. They've been semen checked. Everything's right. If you need a bull, get in there, get on DVAuction.com, get to Beaver County Stockyards and get your one bought off Cook Angus there. Also, September the 10th is going to be the next Feeder Flash Beaver Clash. So that's going to be the week that they separate and go back to 2 sales a week, moving the way up cow sale to Wednesdays. So they're going to have a special feeder cattle auction that 10th, that Tuesday there. I'm going to be up there. We're going to have another Feeder Flash Beaver Clash. If you got yearlings to sell, be planning on marketing them there at Beaver County Stockyards on September the 10th. A reality of a down market. We saw on Monday how much ground we lost in our fat cattle totally last week, and it was a rough week. And of course it came after a previous week of being rough on the board, and then we were just kind of under pressure. We were hoping to hold steady. Then we had Kamala come out and talk about how she was going to put price freezes on food, especially beef, and we know that she wants to put limits on red meat intake. And when she come across with that socialist agenda there, it wrecked all the markets, especially your cattle market there. Middle to late week last week, and just ruined the chance of getting steady money for fat cattle, and we lost a ton of ground, especially on dressed cattle in the northern plains. Nearly $6 lower on your weighted average on dressed steers. Ouch. But it was bad. They had the first night of the Democrat National Convention there. Of course, we didn't hear anything about any kind of socialism coming in. We basically just kissed Mr. Magoo goodbye, and late into the night he gave a speech, hopefully the last one we have to hear him give, where he's yelling and struggling to read words that he totally didn't understand on a teleprompter there. But mostly all they did on Monday at the Democrat National Convention is celebrate abortion like they just won the state playoffs. But I never thought that abortion was something that you celebrated wildly with your arms flailing in the air. But I guess that's where we're headed, people, if we decide to go that route. But our all-time high fat cattle trade just over a month ago there, 197.09. That's just a dream. We're not going to be heading back there, not on this rally anyway. Now we likely will make another run in the spring, but it's going to be tougher to reach the heights that we reached this last time. We're going to have more pressure. Now, granted, I think that the numbers of cattle will be even tighter. We haven't kept any heifers back. There's just no cows out there for your packer buyers, your cow packers to buy, because everybody has whittled and whittled and whittled. Of course, you know, their calves are bringing so much, they hate to whittle them anymore. But you know, our fundamentals are going to be sound and maybe even better than they were this last rally. But the packers know better how to keep the market down. The CME is lightly traded most of the time. They can do like they've been doing here for the last most of the year. They just wait till late in the week and beat the market down. They can make the board go down if they want to, and then buy cattle steady or cheaper, and they've learned how to do that. They've also learned how to import tons and tons, and a lot more than that, but huge amounts of brush-fed lean beef there from Australia and Brazil and places like that, and then mix our trim with it, making our trim go higher. Is even though we have so much trim on these big fat steers and heifers that we've been making, and also cows, we've got so much extra of that fat trim, but it's still going higher because they're importing so much of that brush-fed lean meat that we need a lot of it to mix with it to make something palatable. But it's going to be tough. I mean, we'll make another run, but our cycle's kind of over. So and it's hard to get your traders and your technical people to understand that our fundamentals are still really sound, or maybe even better than what they were, because it doesn't fit their molds, it doesn't fit their squiggly lines. So likely, well, we won't be able to run as far as we did. $2 a pound on our weighted average was a dream. It was realistic, but likely further away than what it really appeared. I don't think the packing industry had any plans of us ever getting to that level. We did see some fat cattle sell at $2 a pound live in your northern plains, but like I said, just over 197 was the highest we ever got the weighted average. Southern plains just continues to run at such a big discount. But you know, that trade that we see, and last week it was 185, it's on such a thin amount of fat cattle in the southern plains. You know, there's more cattle that are selling in the southern plains, and it's some negotiation, but we don't see them reported. And you know, even the coon shit and the Mexicans and the lower grading cattle, if they sell them in bulk to a packer, they sell them $2, $3, $4 over what that established market is. So you can't tell me that the few people that are selling at that dismal low, dollars and dollars and dollars back of what the northern plains, they're not getting benefited in some way to report that trade, either under the table or in some other manner there. But you know, I just hate to see us kind of lose the wave here. But we're headed into fall, people, and you know, there's going to be a lot of calves coming, and a lot of them will be unweaned. That's going to suck our feeder market down. We've got plenty of fat cattle to sell, and we've really been slaughtering our fat cattle right along, and we've really been having fat cattle right along. It's just the cows, the lack of slaughter cows, that's been keeping our estimated slaughter down every week and making it look like we don't have enough cattle out there, and what it is cows. But let's talk about the board. Live cattle futures on Monday were unchanged at 182.80. October was up 72 cents at 179.02. Your back month's down 5 cents to up 25. So really didn't do hardly anything in the live cattle pits there. August feeder cattle down 40 cents at 242.37. September was down 22. And you could have blamed a lot of that on higher corn on Monday, and not much of anything else, but it wasn't down a whole lot. But September down 22 at 239.27, and your back months were unchanged to down 52 cents. And like I said, December corn was up 7 3/4 cents a bushel, back to $4.25 a bushel, which is still pretty cheap, but you know, it is a threshold there. November beans up 19 cents at 9.76 Hard red winter wheat for December up 1.5 cents a bushel at 556.5. Your weighted average on last week's negotiated fed cattle trade out of your 5-area feeding region totaled up to 60,600, very close to last week and a year ago at this time. Last week was 61,100. Last year at this week was 62,300. Live price on fat steers and heifers in the 5-area ranged from 184 to 192. That was $1 to $2 lower. Your weighted average on live steers was 189.14, about $8 off your all-time record there, and dropping, and that was down $2.20 compared to the weighted average of previous week. Dressed steers and heifers ranged in price from $293 to $302, $1 to $6 lower, and your weighted average was way down there, $298.04, down $597 compared to the weighted average from the previous week. Wow, that is a big drop there. As a whole, Southern Plains market was mostly a buck lower at 185. Northern Plains mostly $3 lower at 190 live, and from $4 to $9 lower dressed. That ran from 296 to 301 as a whole for your market, the bulk of trade. Nationwide, we sold 73,200 last week negotiated, compared to 76,200 the previous week and 72,000 even same week a year ago. Of our 73,200 last week, 30% of those, or 22,000 of them, before the 2 to 4 week delivery. Negotiated grid sales were big, 43,600. Hell of it is, there's not much negotiation, it's mostly just grid. Forward contracting has fallen to a trickle. I mean, hardly anything, so they must not be aggressively seeking cattle out front through forward contracts there. Another reason that makes me a little bit fearful of the market. 5,900 head, total head, traded last week, forward contract. Formula sales last week, 280,100. Of your 4 out of 5 areas that we get information from, negotiated last week, Iowa sold 27,500. Nebraska sold 20,900. Kansas only sold 7,100 negotiated, and they sold 12,800 negotiated grid, but there was no negotiation on the grid, it was just grid. Texas sold 5,200 negotiated last week. Box beef cutout values were lower to start the week, with choice cuts down 190 at 315.55, selects down 58 cents at 302.01. Slaughter 117,000, that's 5,000 more than Monday a week ago, 6,000 less than the same Monday a year ago. Talk about what else is going on. Your Virginia quality assured feeder cattle there with Virginia Cattlemen's Association and the Abington Feeder Cattle Association in Southern Virginia. Tell you what, they're having a tele-auction here tonight at 7 o'clock Eastern. They've got 20 loads of weaned calves and yearlings, all program cattle, all going through the VQA assured program there. My buddy Butch Foster is going to be there just like Bob Wills. He won't be doing the singing, but he'll be in the background. And you guys got to get on one of those sales and check them out. The quality of cattle in Virginia is top notch, guys. The only thing you could knock them for is most of the time if you buy them in regular sales, they're sold on in weights and the shrink kills you. But on these kind of deals, on these tele-auctions, you take delivery just like you take delivery of any direct cattle or any video cattle there, guys. And you're really going to love the cattle, especially guys in the Eastern Corn Belt, and that way, if you need some cattle, it's a good way to get on there. They're on DVAuction. Check them out ahead of time, get approved. 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern, VQA tele-auction. Let's go talk about your feeder cattle market. Your real-time index on DVAuction late in the day on Monday set at 248.30, actually 40 cents higher. Had a couple of big sales that sold pretty good there in the Midwest. And your latest CME cash feeder cattle index, kind of hitting on some things that are just screwed up. Your latest CME cash feeder cattle index, 243.99. So under 244, and behind your real-time index more than $4. Why? Because they dumped a ton of coon shit directs on them over the weekend and put those in there. Suck that thing all the way back there. Those direct reported sales that come in, supposedly they're all current delivery. There's no verification of it through USDA. There's no verification of the quality, and most of them were plainer quality, and I would bet most of them would be straight twos and not ones and twos. And nobody knows that if it ever really happened or not. It's just all corporates turning that stuff in, and they turn them in a lot cheaper than what cattle are bringing into sale barns. Sucks that index down. Works pretty good for the LRP deal though. Don't forget, here today on Tuesday, Unionville Livestock has got a special, and they've got those Rockin' R steers in there, 5 loads of them included. And then tomorrow on Wednesday, Creston Livestock Market in Creston, Iowa is going to have their barbecue special, and they're going to have 3,000 of the fanciest cattle you can find anywhere. And the Peterson consignment's got over 1,000 of them in there, and they will be top notch. Let's talk about your sales on Monday. Oklahoma National Stockyards in Oklahoma City had a light run again, just 4,200. Feeders were steady to $2 lower. Calves were $3 to $6 lower. Joplin Regional Stockyards had a few more than that, but not too many. They had 5,000, which was bigger than what they estimated, but they always underestimate. Market was unevenly steady. The government market reporter gave huge swings from down and up in there, but if you listen to Jackie, he said it was mostly steady. There was some ups and downs in there, but still a pretty good market. And they had one of our extreme top quotes I'll give you here in a second. But the NationalBeefWire stick-out sale of the day was Faith Livestock Auction in Faith, South Dakota. They had a barbecue special there. They had 5,300 head. They're not all included in this automated market report, but we've got a pretty good cross-section of them here. About 317 head of 7-weight steers, average 756, weighted average price 272.56. 633 head of the 8-weight steers, averaged 854 at 250.285, and 201 head of the 9-weight steers pulled through Faith Livestock there, averaged 942 at 234.42. On the heifers, 342 head of the 7-weight heifers, averaged 756 pounds, weighted average price 246.05. 535 head of the 8-weights, averaged 851 at 236.62. And 254 head of the 9-weight heifers in Faith, South Dakota, averaged 939 pounds at 228.83. Really good sale for them. Congratulations. Had a big successful barbecue sale when the market's just a little iffy. But check out some of these extreme top quotes, independent quotes, or individual quotes from all around. How about Joplin Regional Stockyards? They can sell them as high as anybody when they get the right kind in there. They sell 56 steers, weigh 640 at 298. Wow, that's a big time quote there. How about Callaway Livestock, Kingdom City, Missouri? They sell the Carroll County steers there. 75 of them weigh 735 at 285.75. Huge quote there from Jack Harrison's sale barn there. But the most impressive quote that I saw anywhere on Monday, your Macrocin No BS top quote for the day, indeed come out of Faith Livestock Auction in Faith, South Dakota. It was 61 steers, weighed 822, bring 263. And that's your feeder flash for Tuesday.